Using the quadratic formula, solve these equations. X squared plus 6x plus 5 equals 0. All right, what's the quadratic equation? X equals minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. What does that mean? Well, b in this case is 6. Great. B in this case is 6. B equals A equals 1, B equals 6, and C equals 5. So what does that mean? X equals minus 6 plus or minus B squared, 6 squared minus 4 times A times C, which is 5. And that's all over 2 times 1. Oh boy. So let's solve it first. This minus 6 stays here. Plus or minus, let's solve whatever's in here. 36 is b squared, 6 squared, minus 4 times 5. 4 times 5 is going to be equal to 20 all over 2. Well, that's equal to x equals to minus 6 plus or minus the root of 16 all over 2. It's a lot of rewriting. X equals, what's minus 6 over 2? There's two possible answers. Minus 6 over 2 is equal to minus 3 plus or minus 4 over 2, which is equal to x equals minus 3 plus or minus 2. So what does that mean? That means x equals to minus 3 plus 2, or x equals minus 3 minus 2. So x equals to minus 1, or x equals to minus 5. That's my answer. Now we use the quadratic formula for that, right? But let's look at this again. Okay, let's look at the following. Let's grab that. Oh no. Let's try this again. And let's move it. Come on. Okay, let's look at our answer. What two numbers multiply to 5 and add to 6? Well, that's easy. 5 and 1. Sometimes the formula is a lot harder. They're both the same. Oh, what happened? And they're both plus. So x equals minus 5 or x equals 1. What was easier, factoring or using a formula? I would say factoring. But anyway, that's 1a. Let's look at 1b. So we have x squared. Oops, not b. We're going to look at c. X squared minus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Okay, how do we solve this? Use a formula. Minus b. Honestly, it's very annoying to use a formula because I know that the answer already is going to be 3 and minus 1 or something like that, or minus 3 and plus 1, something or other like that. I could solve it by factoring. So much easy here, but whatever. Minus b plus or minus b squared minus 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times minus 3. C is minus 3. All over 2 times 1. All right, let's solve it. X equals 2 over 2 plus or minus root of, what's minus 2 squared? That's equal to 4. minus times minus is plus, plus 12. Oh, it's 16 again. And we all know. Let's distribute this 2 over. X equals 2 over 2. That's this guy. 2 over 2 plus or minus 4 plus 12 over 2. Right? Just rewrite the fraction, that's all. X equals, well, that's equal to 1. Plus or minus 16, root 16 over 2. X equals 1 plus or minus 4 over 2. X equals 1 plus or minus 2. So X equals 1 plus 2, which is 3. Or X equals minus 1. 1 minus 2. Didn't I say that at the beginning? Because I knew I could just break this up and say, what two numbers multiply to 3? That's easy, 3 and 1. And they're both different, and the higher one is negative. So x equals 1 in this case, and x equals, x equals minus 1, and x equals 3. Isn't that what we got? Yes, it is. Quadratic formula, I only use that when you can't factor. That's when I'll grab out the quadratic formula. Let's look at e. 1e, and we have x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 0. Now, here's a situation where I might want to use graphing or a quadratic formula or a graphing calculator, but quadratic formula is going to work because I don't know a number that multiplies to 4 and adds to 4. 4 and 1? Oh, actually I do. The answer is 2. So guess what the answer is going to be? The answer is going to end up being x2. Oh, this looks like a perfect square, actually. They're both the same, and they're both positive. So the answer is going to be x equals minus 2. But regardless, let's use the quadratic formula. X equals minus b, plus or minus, what's b squared? 4 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is 4, all over 2a. And the reason question 1 is giving you such easy values, 2 times 1, is so that it's not so difficult to solve. Minus 4 over 2 plus or minus something over 2, which is 16 minus what? Minus 16, which is going to be 0, right? Why do I say 0? Let's look at that again. Because 16 minus 16 is 0, square root of 0 is 0, over 2 is 0. The answer is equal to minus 4 over 2, which is minus 2, plus or minus 0. So you don't add or subtract anything. X equals minus 2. And that's when it's a perfect square. Finally, 1g, and we'll be done 1.